Ex-fat people of Reddit, what is an underrated fat loss tip? Story 1. Don't let one slip up mess up the whole day. Ugh, I already ate that donut. Might as well get pizza. I'll start fresh tomorrow. Story 2. Water. Lots of water. Anytime you think you feel hungry and it's not mealtime, grab some water. Weighed almost 300 lbs this time last year, currently 177 lbs. Answer: after just a year? Darn dude, what are some other tips you have? Finally have an upcoming doctor appointment. I haven't had a checkup in too long, and I'm hoping that can help me getting started too. I've started tracking everything the last 2 weeks at minimum and was thinking of slowly doing a chicken, rice, vegetable diet to start also. Trying to cut down from 300 also by my next Japan trip next year in October. Story 3. Stop thinking about it as a diet or temporary thing. Think about it as, this is how I eat now, and the temporary thing is eating junk or sweets once in a while. Answer: consequently, it's really, really, really important to find food you genuinely enjoy that fits into that. It doesn't need to be perfect, but a small indulgence will be better than a big one and help you sustain that diet. I love salt. I love it. I love potatoes with butter and cheese. Fudge delicious. Fudge terrible for me. I discovered that a great swap for me is an unseasoned baked potato. Truly an underrated health food, potatoes have fiber and super high satiety. With super violently garlicky homemade hummus, black beans, and kale. The garlic makes everything taste really indulgent, and despite having no cheese or butter, it tastes like it does. With the beans and kale, it's got shoot loads of fiber and protein and keeps me full for most of the day for relatively few calories. Story 4. Walk. I don't care if it's half a mile or 10K steps. Just go walk and it will become easier, and you can go further and do more, little by little. Do it every day. Story 5. Don't put so much pressure on yourself and take it a day at a time. The more you fixate on it, the more it takes over your mind and will cause all or nothing. Find distractions and keep busy. Slowly at first, and then you'll see the weight drop, and it will become natural. Answer: my doctor told me to drive to the gym. Don't even tell yourself to go in. Just drive to the gym and sit in your car in the parking lot. He set the bar that low, but it's good because it's doable. And you do it a couple of times and then you'll go in. And the next time you get on a treadmill. And then a few weeks later you talk to a trainer, etc. It's the small steps that matter. Story 6. Being honest with yourself and tracking your calories. Get a calorie tracker and run your meals for a week. Don't change anything. Eat and drink like normal for a week, but track it all. It'll blow your mind how that handful of nuts, soda, couple extra dinner rolls with butterits all add up, and you're staring at a mind-bending daily caloric intake. It shows you where you're really starting from, and you can make real adjustments to get started. Answer: the number of people I hear say, I don't eat that much, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 calories, max, then are shocked when they track and find out that their meals are like 1,500 calories, but their snacking adds on about 1,500 calories. They are also shocked when they find out jogging a mile only burns 100 calories in the best cases. So walking 2 miles on the treadmill, then rewarding yourself with 500 calories of ice cream isn't helping. Story 7. Lift weights as you lose weight. You will probably lose weight slower, but you will hang on to your muscle mass while you're in a calorie deficit. I took up biking and running and didn't start lifting until I had lost about 45 pounds. I would do it differently if I had to start over. However, I will say, it was fun to be able to see the muscle as I put it back on. Answer: this should be higher. You can build muscle so much better if you start fat, and lifting weights raises your ability to burn calories at rest. The tough part for most is that it makes you crazy hungry, so the diet is so important. The upside is when you are reaching your goal weight, your body transformation is less skinny fat and more aesthetically pleasing. If you have a lot of fat to lose, you will also have less hanging skin on your problem areas. And let me nip it in the bud. If you are not currently a lifter, you're not going to turn into a bodybuilder after a few years of lifting. Most people will just feel better when doing physical activities and look slightly better with their clothes off. Plus, muscle doesn't go away so easy, so it will benefit you for years to come. Story 8. Swimming. Easy on joints already struggling with extra weight, who would otherwise find cardio hard. Also great for strengthening lungs, for overweight people, or any people, really, struggling with breathing issues. Helped me lose 20 of my body weight some years ago. Answer: and water aerobics, it's so good for flexibility. I love water exercises. The only thing is you have to have access to a pool with a flat bottom that comes up to somewhere between your waist and chest, but too many pools seem to drop from 3 to 5 feet right away, and there is no room to do a good workout or good laps before you start scraping the bottom. Story 9. Don't go 0 to 100 immediately. If you switch from a poor diet and no workout to an insane diet and intense regimen in one day, you are never going to stick to it. It's okay to progress slowly. Stop looking for shortcuts. The time you waste looking for a magic diet fad, supplement, or pill could have been used to actually do the work and get you halfway there. Take advice from people who have never been fat with a massive grain of salt. A lot of gym rats, bodybuilders, and extremely in-shape people actually give atrocious advice to fat people, recommending exercises that are going to take down your joints and failing to recognize that losing fat for them and losing fat for you are two very different things. They also completely ignore the psychological aspect of getting fat in the first place because they've never experienced it. Motivation is good, but discipline is what is going to get you there. Don't give up after one bad day or weekend or even month. Getting healthy is a journey. Answer: this. In the past, I tried to go from 0 to 100, and it never worked. Last year, I decided to do things in baby steps by fixing my eating habits first, caloric deficit, then slowly incorporating exercise. I went from being afraid to go to the gym to working out at home, and then by going 4 or 5x a week, I lost 70 lbs in the last year by creating habits over time. Story 10. Stop drinking sugary drinks. You'll lose a shitload of weight if you stop drinking soda as a main liquid intake. Story 11. My opinion is that advice people give that requires entirely cutting things you love or making you do things that make you feel bad are bound to fail. But this is just my experience, and everyone is different. For me, it started with calorie counting and trying to be honest with myself about those estimates while recognizing that I was probably undercounting things. From the calorie counting and watching my progress, I came to several realization steps. 1. Reduce your portions. Especially eating at restaurants in the US, portion sizes are huge. Start off by just leaving a little on your plate instead of cleaning it, and gradually reduce further. After a while, you won't be able to finish the plate at a lot of places even if you try. When making things at home, measure out a serving instead of guessing. 2. You don't have to entirely quit sweets or snacks, but be aware of what you're eating. Some desserts might be 800 calories and not really much more satisfying than eating something with 200 calories. There are lots of things that you can have a little treat for 100-200 calories if you seek them out. You don't have to go cold turkey. 3. Don't beat yourself up over cheat days or whatever. It's about building better, sustainable habits, not strictly following some rule book. If you treat yourself once in a while, or decide not to track things for a few days during holidays, it's not going to matter in the long run, and feeling like you're allowed to do things like that will help you keep the habits. 4. Don't keep things in the house which you don't want to eat. If you're trying to reduce ice cream or chips or adult beverage or whatever, don't buy it. It is so much easier to have willpower once a week at the store than 204/7 at home. 5. Give yourself milestones and rewards to work towards. For me at least, losing the weight was rewarding on its own, but having additional things to work toward, like buying myself something I'd been wanting at certain milestones, was an extra motivation to keep going. Answer: for one, I would like to add that you should figure out what calories really matter to you in a meal and prioritize those. I am still on my weight loss journey, 40 pounds down, and I still eat fast food and restaurant food way more than I should. But I no longer drink the soda water is honestly fine, and I usually don't get fries either. I would much rather eat the burger. Heck, there's a place near me that lettuce wraps burgers, and I tried it one time to figure out if the bun is part of what really matters to me in my hamburger meal. Turns out, it's not. A lettuce-wrapped A&W Canada Team Burger is 340 calories. Is it good for me? No. Is it better than the full meal with Coke and fries and the bun? Hell yes. I usually buy fast food to eat at home, so I'll supplement it with veggies or whatever from here if I need. The person reading this is probably different. Maybe for you, those fries are part of what really matters to you in a meal. Totally good. Find other ways to cut back then. And don't just buy more food because it's a deal. Buy what you actually want. Story 12. Get tested for sleep apnea. If you're not getting good sleep, there's more than just getting 8-ish hours. Your body may not be metabolizing your food properly. I'm down 25 pounds in 6 months after starting to use a CPAP, and I feel so much better now that I'm getting good sleep. Also eat a ton of veggies. I've started getting lots of potatoes, carrots, squash, and onions, do chop up and roast as a side dish or the base of a meal. I'm new to roasting veggies and was astonished by how much seasoning I needed to add, but I can eat that mix for meals, snacks, and mindless grazing every day. Bonus if you're able to get fresh produce from a farmer's market. Lastly, find fun ways to move. Good habits have to be enjoyable. I love square and contra dancing and go at least once a week. Walk around your neighborhood while listening to music or taking pictures. My friends and I will go on leisurely walks when we're hanging out sometimes. Story 13. I upped my protein and fiber intake, 2 liters of water a day. All that kept me from feeling hungry, so I didn't eat as much. I'm still kind of fat, but I'm working it down. Just gotta get into a decent exercise routine. Story 14. Eating disorders can make you big too. For me, weight loss didn't start with the gym, or counting calories or cutting soda. It started with a really great therapist. I'm down 120 libs and haven't dieted at all, just fixed my relationship with food. Story 15. Measuring out things like dressing and sauces. Don't eyeball your portion you're over-serving. Get a tablespoon and measure it out. Story 16. The law of buying new clothes. I don't know why this is, but when I accept myself heavy and go spend a ton of money on nice new clothes for that size, it never fails. The weight melts off, and that money on clothing was partied too hard. Story 17. My wife lost it through us just walking and eating healthy. It took time, but portion size was more important than what food she ate. Think how you eat, not what you eat. And every day after dinner, we walked for a few blocks, working up on distance and pace. Now we walk more and hike on weekends. But in the beginning, it starts slow. But then, 6 months later, she was a different human. 1 year later, even more. Nothing is instant. Story 18. At my doughiest, I was 265. My wife wouldn't tell me hers. While I was doing our taxes, I calculated how much we were spending on cigarettes every year. It was close to 10,000. So, we quit. It was a meanie quitting after 24 years. But after 2 weeks, our sense of smell and taste returned, and we realized what shoot food we were stuffing ourselves with. So we got gym memberships and started exercising. At first, I couldn't even do 15 minutes on the exercise bike. but after a while, we both got into great shape. We ran marathons and climbed mountains. Story 19. A little surprised I haven't seen this yet. Be nice to yourself. Think of yourself with nice words, don't bad talk, and insult yourself. Accept that you who you are right now is valuable and worthy of the changes you're working towards. When you slip up, do not berate and malign yourself. Just say, oops. And then promise yourself to try again at the next opportunity. Story 20. A lot of people will tell you eat less calorie-dense foods, veggies and such, or to avoid this and that, polyunsaturated fats, this or that carb, everything under the sun, including the sun. The truth is, outside of extremely rare circumstances, that it is psycho and self-control. Some of these tips can help a lot. I did lots of vegetables and keto at different points, but I wouldn't say that did it alone. The best thing you can do is give yourself better habits. You can force yourself into fasting, buy books programs, order expensive meal prep boxes, etc. all day. But if you choose an unsustainable fix, you will often either crash or regain weight when you meet your target. Some people are cursed with bad genetics. Some have not learned healthy habits. Some don't have self-control. The truth is, the answer is the same for most people. Develop reasonable, healthy habits. Change one every day, week, etc., and it will compound. There is no magic bullet, and for God's sake, you are human. It took time and small effects adding up to get here. It will take time and small changes to reverse it. Answer: it's so important to be kind with yourself. Also, if you're a woman and have suspected or diagnosed hormonal problems, it's really helpful to get a thorough check of your hormone status before starting with a dedicated weight loss journey. While psycho applies always, hormonal issues can massively fudge with your maintenance calories. Hormones are incredibly complex, and it really pays to have professional help. I was only able to manage my weight when I was on the correct dose of thyroid medication. Made it so much easier. My maintenance pre-medication was stupidly low, in the 1,1100 level. Hormone disorders affect your energy levels and mood significantly. It is almost impossible finding the energy to diet when you're so tired, are losing your hair, and deal with real brain fog. You can't pour from an empty cup. Story 21. This doesn't apply to everyone, but may be true for some. Face the psychological aspects of what has caused you to gain weight. You can't run from that and keep the weight off. Don't start the process feeling disgusted or ashamed of yourself, as that mindset will perpetuate the issues that cause you to binge. Story 22. When you first start to think you've had enough, stop. Full stop. I don't care if there's more on your plate. Drink some more water and save the rest for later, even if it's only a few hours later. Story 23. Treat it like an addiction. I ate like an alcoholic drinks. Bad day at work? Stop at Sonic on the way home. I'll feel better. Good day at work? Celebrate with Whataburger. I deserve it. Probably can't cure defeat the depression or anxiety that shoot eating helps you cope with, but understanding it is a great start. Also, while exercise is important, it's not effective without changing your eating. Eat like shoot, but exercise every day. No real weight loss. Eat less, eat better, and don't exercise at all. You'll lose significant weight. Do all three and lose all the weight. Good place to start. Try doing something dietary for a month, but something simple. I went meatless for a month just to see if I could. I still had things like pasta and other things not great, but going without burgers, etc. really showed me I could give something up and change. Give up sugar for a month. Give up any beverage with calories. Something. Great start. Story 24. Take your time and walk like more than you think. I'm almost at my goal weight. 65 pounds down in 3 years. Story 25. This can't be for everybody, but if you're already being a sloth and have no job, find something manual labor and actually show up and do the work. I was a fat teen all through high school. First job was manual labor intense, and I melted. Now I comfortably sit in an office all day, but I take care of my body, and it's all thanks to being forced to move around and move heavy shoot for a while. It gave me a real good baseline to work off of and get paid while doing it. Story 26. As someone who went from 485 to 233 lbs, the biggest thing for me was cutting out soda and sweet tea. And as much as people don't want to admit it, having that one jerk hole friend who always picked on you, calling you fat and such. Also, one of the best workout partners I have ever had. Once you start seeing progress, it's like a substances, you won't want to stop. Answer. Funny thing. One of my best friends called me and told me to call or text him every morning and call him a fat piece of shoot so he would go to his CrossFit class. Now sure, it started as that, but then it went to, hey bro, I'm so fudge proud of you, crush it today. He went from 360 to 180 and married one of my best friends who I introduced him to. So proud of him and them as a couple. Story 27. Get enough sleep. Not sleeping a full 8 hours every night affects your ability to make good decisions. Plus, being tired makes it easier to justify the easy route. The frozen TV dinners take out rather than a homemade meal or skipping the gym. If you want to set yourself up for success, sleep is critical. Story 28. Eat the same shoot every day. Same breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Slight switch, but nothing too drastic. It becomes your norm, and you start not missing the shoot you used to eat. Used to love eating out, now I enjoy my simple jerk meals at home. Only took 5 years to get it together. Story 29. The best exercise is the one you will do the most with limited reminders. Consistency in any workout. 20 is better than 0. Someone will say walking is best, it is best for them. Personally, I like spin and cycling, and will do that way more often than just take a walk. Hit up Facebook Marketplace or secondhand gym suppliers for equipment. Sign up for doing every class once. I have no idea why I wandered into a spin class. Now it is the exercise I do the most. The key is finding out what works for you, and it may involve a lot of trial and error until you find your niche. Story 30. I have tried everything under the sun to try and lose weight. I was about to give up when I decided to try GLP-1 medications. Holy shoot, this medication is a miracle. Completely shut off the part of my brain that craved food. I just now eat to survive. Nothing sounds good anymore. I don't look for sugar when I've had a bad day. My mind is also calm. My grocery bill went down $400 a month, which allows me to afford this medication. Answer. I already have given up. I got tired of tracking everything I ate and every step I took and still losing, gaining the same 2 pounds over and over and over again. Would you be willing to share more about your experience? My doctor recommended a GLP-1, but I'm afraid of the side effects. No one wants nausea vomiting, but for me, it rises to the level of phobia. I'm terrified of doing that first injection and then spending an entire week sick. I'm not sure I wouldn't be tragic in before I made it through. Does nothing sound good because you're nauseated all the time? Shutting off the part of my brain that craves food sounds fantastic. IMO. No one who doesn't already have it can understand food noise. Story 31. Eat vegetables. There are a lot of different non-starchy vegetables. Eat your favorite, even every day. Add in some starch. Potatoes are so satisfying. Add some spices. A low-cal sauce. I happen to love pizza sauce. Make this at least half of your plate. Add some lean protein or beans lentils. Story 32. Slow right down. I know you want to be skinny as of 3 months ago, but if you want it to stick, you gotta go slowly. Story 33. You can't outrun a bad diet. The simple fact is, you simply must eat nutritious and filling food and maintain a calorie deficit. Never cut more than 500 calories a day. Work with a doctor if you need to lose more than 10 pounds. Make sure there aren't other reasons inhibiting weight loss. Story 34. Just smaller portions and lots of exercise in the form of walking, as well as strength training, helped me lose over 100 lbs. Story 35. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone posting advice and tips. My husband and I have been struggling for 6 years to get in shape, and a lot of these comments are pretty easy and simple. 3. Story 36. The mental lag after you lose weight. I still scan rooms for chairs without arms, avoid booths, and brace before clicking a seatbelt even though everything fits now. Your brain keeps living in the old body long after the body changes. Story 37. Intermittent fasting. My God, this has darn changed my life with the way I eat. I developed a pretty unhealthy eating habit growing up, and since a couple of years ago, mainly for the last year, this has dramatically affected my relationship with eating. Yes, I did initially do healthy eating and a buttload of exercise daily, but dude, this intermittent fasting has changed me mentally and physically. I have a much healthier relationship with food. I eat like one big healthy nutritious meal for dinner, and I'll have very light healthy snacks. I just started my morning with heaps of water and black coffee with coconut oil, and that honesty keeps me going till like 1-3 p.m. and then I get hungry, snack on some fruit or muesli bar. Then eat a nice meal. I'm now an extremist with fasting, but also this is nicely balanced. That way I don't feel shoot when I have my weekly eat out on whatever I want. Yes, diet and exercise are also really good, but this, I promise you, will work long term. You're just burning fat for a large amount of your day. Not to mention the energy you have is way better, and you rarely have those post-meal crashes. But always listen to your body. I've learned to know the difference between a random craving and genuine hunger. If your body is genuinely hungry, eat. You will learn the difference. My overall journey since 18 to now 27 was 105 kilo to now 72 and 74 kilo. Research intermittent fasting and its requirements. If you have the extra body fat to burn, this will be great. Again, I'm an extremist. Sometimes I even do random multi-day fasting for the challenge. Best way to start is skipping breakfast IMO and stick to eating between 12 and 8 p.m. I now do 12 to 8 p.m. Story 38. Lost 85 lbs and kept it off for 20 years. 1. Stop all soda, sweetened coffee and tea and energy drinks. Drink water, unsweetened tea, black coffee. 2. Walk at least 20 minutes daily. More is better, but 20 is easy and it makes a difference. 3. Stop snacking. Or, if you really need a snack, try a handful of grapes, an apple or orange, melon. Salty snacks, half cup of nuts, pretzels, even chips, but only 1/2 cup and at least 8 oz water. 4. Protein fast every 3rd day. Cottage cheese, eggs, tuna, nuts, high-protein shakes or drinks, fish, sardines, lean steak, chicken, nothing but protein and water, all day. 5. Eat slowly. Don't eat while driving. Drink water between every bite. Feel full faster. 6. Stand. Don't look for a seat when waiting in line. Standing burns more calories than sitting. 7. Take your time. It took a while to get fat. It's not going away any faster. Make a plan and stick to it. Story 39. This is tangential and maybe specific to me, but I have found that if I eat right before bed, I wake up and am hungry shortly or within the first couple hours, and if I eat a more respectable time before bed, I am not. Story 40. If you are a woman over 35, perimenopause and hormones are going to factor in. Get treatment for that if you need it, because that will affect your body's ability to lose weight, energy levels, depression, and more. Protein and timing of meals is really important. Heavy weights are going to be your best friend. Story 41. I've lost and kept 100 lbs off for 10 years as of this Novi. Here are my best takeaways. 1. Have to make it your focus. It's your new hobby. 2. Learn nutrition from calories to macro and what they do. 3. Exercise is a terrible way to lose weight. You lose weight from eating less, not working out. I just trained and finished a half marathon and am the same weight as when I started. Exercise also makes you hungry. Understand this, but still be active. Start with steps and body weight anything. I lost my first 50 lbs not working out at all. 4. Learn to cook. You'll never lose weight eating out. Restaurants want to give you the most calories for the best profit. 5. Keto. It's not cliche. Carbs make me hungry. Really, any restriction diet works, so if you're anti-keto, so be it. But for me, it's what I go back to time and time again. 6. Fasting. You eat too much too many times. The fat on your body is stored energy. Also, fasting makes you mindful of how many times you just want to eat for the sake of boredom. 7. Weight yourself and track everything every day, but don't let one day throw you off. 2 days is a trend. 8. Don't plan your social life around food. You can always meet someone after dinner, etc. 9. Don't drink. It's useless calories but also throws off your digestion. 10. You burn the most fat at night. Sleep on an empty stomach. Personally, I know I am on track when I start dreaming of food. 11. You're fat and not healthy. Face it and fix it. A healthy person wants many things. A sick person only wants one. Answer. A quick thought adding on to point 3. Largely, yes, the calories in is easier to adjust and will have a larger impact than trying to increase the calories out. I'm not going to argue against this advice. However, I recall hearing that studies have shown the body will start to adjust to the calories in to try to reach homeostasis, and their weight loss stalls at a certain number. Calorie-burning exercises can help break out and continue burning fat. Can't outrun a bad diet for sure, but I would rephrase, exercise is a terrible way to lose weight. To exercise without a better diet is a terrible way to lose weight. Further, if desired, weight training can put on some muscle, which will increase the rate of fat loss. This will add muscle weight, however, and when trying to lose fat, doing body fat composition measurements once a month or so should help with seeing progress in body fat amount going down, even if the total body weight doesn't. Essentially changing the mindset from weight loss to fat loss. Story 42. Count your calories. The recommended portion size is accurate. Eating whole grains and nothing enriched can eliminate all the cravings in about a week. Story 43. Note: excuse any math errors. This has been a 10-year journey that went up and down, and most of this is by memory. I lost 110 lbs over the course of a year, several years back. Then I got poisoned by accident. Organophosphate poison is no joke. And lost another 30-40 lbs I couldn't afford to lose. My body fat percentage went deep into single digits, but has since rebounded, and I'm sitting at a healthy weight and am able to do 90 to 120 minutes of exercise daily. I've always been strong and athletic, even when I was fat, which made it no big deal to eat 6,000, 7,000 calories per day. As it stands, I'm 147 lbs from the heaviest I've ever been, 337. I lost 140 lbs the first time over the course of 2 years, but then blew back up to 290 lbs or so after a bout with depression. I was down to the 150s for about 6 months after I got poisoned, and it took me roughly another 6 months to reverse that and regain all the muscle mass I lost. I cannot stress enough. Track what you eat and track your exercise. This past attempt to lose weight, all I did was walk on the treadmill. I used my Fitbit account to hold me accountable. It started off as 15K steps per day. Eventually, I graduated to 20K and 25K. At a heavy weight, it isn't hard to get your HR up high, just walking. I graduated to jogging, but a knee injury moved me to the elliptical. The elliptical is a lot harder than the treadmill because you control your own pace, but it gets easier with time, and it will get your HR into the fat-burning zones faster, and you can keep it there longer. I don't recommend starting there. Start at a low-pace walk on the treadmill, and when you're able to walk at 4 mm consistently for 20 to 30 minutes without dying, make the switch. That's what I did, and it's worked well for me. I ate a sensible breakfast and kept my calorie intake below 600. Meat and eggs, mostly. Then, just eggs supplemented with a protein shake. This got my calories very low, so I would eat a Quest bar halfway to lunch just to keep me going. For lunch some days, I would eat a ham and cheese sandwich with pickles and mayo. Other days, I might have stopped for a chicken sandwich with no fries. All soft drinks were 0 sugar, if I had them. I kept a gallon of water with me at all times and would make sure I finished all of it by the end of the day. That was truly the hardest part. If you keep your belly full of water, you don't really get that empty hunger feeling. Also, you stay hydrated at a proper level. I lived in the desert at the time, so I wasn't overhydrating. For dinner, since I ate very light for the day, 1,400 to 1,600 calories, I would make that decision based on how many calories I had burned by dinner time. After work, before my second job, I had enough time to go to the gym for an hour. When I was done, if it said I was on pace to hit 4K calories, I'd eat a high-protein meal and add another 400-800 calories to the mix. If I felt shaky through the day from the lack of sugar, I kept Haribo gummies on hand to hold me over till mealtime. It was very hard not to down the whole package in one sitting, so I packed enough to carry me through the day. I would lift weights for 30 minutes and use the elliptical for 30 minutes. Eventually, I added time to the elliptical part of that routine. I incorporated calisthenics back into my workout as soon as I could handle 3 sets between 5 and 7 reps, dips and pull-ups, and air squats until I could do 5 reps of 20-30. It was a slow process, both times I did it. You have to read food labels. You have to know what ingredients to avoid. You have to do allergy tests so you don't eat things that will give you a mild allergy and inflammation. I discovered that I had an allergy to tree nuts and milk. As soon as I cut those from my diet, I started seeing progress with less pain. Then I got poisoned, and all that went out the window. For the past several months, my diet has been reversed, but I had to start my exercise regimen from scratch. Then I had a knee injury after the poisoning, and that set me back further. 300 lb bench to 115 lbs, 400 lb deadlift to 135 lbs. It was like starting over from scratch and trying to gain back weight I didn't want to gain back. But I did it the same way. I stuck to my diet and to the plan, and I'm about 70 back. Just make a plan. Keep track of everything. Keep it in a journal and use a smart watch to hold yourself accountable. Make good habits with hydration and sleep. Eat responsibly, not just to starve yourself. What I did 2.5 times if you count bouncing back from the other side. It was hard. It wasn't impossible. You can do it too. Have faith in yourself. Seriously, have faith in yourself. That's underrated right there. Story 44. Don't think that exercise is going to do anything if you don't change your eating too. I was running half marathons when I was at my fattest. During a regular week, I would do 5 or 6 runs of 2 hours each and went to the gym for Zumba twice a week on top of it. Didn't lose any weight after 6 months of following this workout routine because I hadn't changed the eating habits that made me fat in the first place. For weight loss, you have to cut down on eating. Exercise is just a tiny little bonus boost to help you feel better and later on sculpt your body once the fat is gone. Story 45. Intermittent fasting took off 80 lbs in 15 months. It's just being disciplined. Every 2 months, broke down and ate my entire refrigerator, but I kept going. Story 46. Low-carb sugar, increased protein. Lost 15 lbs in 3 months just by reading labels and being mindful of carbs and sugar. Story 47. Keep a journal where you record how you feel after a day of clean eating and physical activity versus a day of eating junk and stagnation. This helped me to fight those temptations when I wanted to binge or overindulge. Story 48. I've gone up and down in weight, but at my lowest after losing about 85 lbs, I was doing strict no carbs. Also, frequently going to the gym, several times a week. No chest days, no sugar desserts, just a strict diet. Hard as hell, but it works. I am also a firm believer in that Dr. Now philosophy that if you truly are like 1,200 calories,